Hey, I'm Kev Kern, Mr. Kern. Welcome to round 16 of the first season of Formula Xbox, and I'm in the Sauber. This is round career and qualifying. I just got this wrong. It was dry at the beginning of qualifying, then it rained in the middle a bit, and guess when I went out? In the middle, just after it stopped, finished raining, and this is my fastest lap around the 5 minute mark towards the end, but it dried out towards the end. So if you did your qualifying lap in the last seconds or last minute and a half of qualifying, you had a good dry lap. And yeah, I just got it totally wrong on the timing here. I didn't really pay attention. I was too busy doing other stuff. And then when I saw I had 6 minutes left, I thought, oh, I'll just go out and look at it. It's just still drying out, as you can see, about 3.5 seconds off just in the first sector alone. But I went out on prime tyres, so I qualified on primes, and not many people qualified. That's basically why I went out, just to see where I would qualify, because not many people were out there, and I thought I could maybe sneak a top 5, because I think only 7 or 8 people went out. So that's why I went out, but it didn't work out at all. As you can see, the car's just going a bit wide here, not really pushing too hard at all. I'm just making sure I'm going round that, just putting in a solid that 10-11 seconds off the pace a bit. So you can see, just riding the curves a bit. I always get that left to right a bit wrong on my turn, and especially on the right, because you're going left all the time, and then you have to turn right immediately after you finish left. There's no straightening of the wheel, and sometimes I straighten the wheel a bit, and it makes me drift wide on that corner. But as you can see, going to the end of that, understeering like hell on these prime tyres. Not the right tyre at all for these conditions, and you'll see in the race, I have to start on prime tyres in low temperature settings with cloud cover, and it just did not work at all. As you see, I qualified 6th and a teammate 9th, only 45 seconds off the pace. Quite a good lap from him. And as you can see, it was another Williams Mercedes at the front there. But here is the race. As you can see, cloud cover at the beginning, and prime tyres. Hard to get temperature into the prime tyres with that cloud cover. It needs a couple of laps to get up to speed in just normal hot conditions, not in this cloudy, low temperature conditions. And so I really struggled on these prime tyres. I had to make an early pit stop. But as you can see at the start here, not a bad start, sticking in 6th, but I braked about 5 meters too late here, drifted forward into the red ball, and then I just got a lag spike hit from, I think, Hybe. And as you can see, Terry Frosty not giving any room at all on the second corner. But yeah, I got a penalty for that. That got rescinded after the race when the stewards in the Formula Xbox stewards room, took a look at it and rescinded that penalty from me. Took it away. So if you if you don't know what rescinded means, so yeah, that's what happened in the first corner. And look at Legion spun, or got spun, on the third corner there. So towards the end of the lap, I caught up to Derry Frosty here, and we would have a quite intense battle here. As you can see, he's going wide, he's struggling on those option tyres. Option tyres were the tyre to be on, believe me, in these first few laps. But as you can see, he's moving around a bit, and so I can't really place my car for a move anywhere. And due to this, it allows Legion, who's closing up behind like a runaway train. He's right on my tail now as we go down this straight, using the curves, getting some slipstream from the McLaren as well. And Legion's getting my slipstream and using his curves as well. So I've got to be careful where I've got to place my car. So Derry's on the outside, I go for the inside. But Legion's on the outside as well, and I see him on mirrors alongside. I have to give him room, and he's round my outside. Great move from Legion, but that really happened because of Derry Frosty. Like, I couldn't find a way past him. I lost momentum, and I took a little nut down there, but I just knew I didn't have the braking power, didn't have the temperature in the tyres. I would just be flying off to the middle of nowhere. But there was a couple of incidents there. I think Hybe was involved in it. You see, going a bit wide, and the Red Bull took a look on the outside, so we go a bit of a nudge, but I couldn't do anything. The car was just drifting wide if I didn't like it at all. And I really struggle with this, like, understeering. It's in Derry going again on the grass and just braked a bit wide, and I'm not sure if he just let me through or just out braked himself, but I went through there, and we're up to 7th place after that Dreadful start, and now we're going on to the third lap, and I just struggled with the tyres. As I said, look at this first corner, just not getting the brake in there, and then the third corner, again a bit wide, just understeer. I just could not get the car into the corners like I want, and I admit I actually lost track of laps here because I thought I pitted on lap 4. It turns out it was lap 5, and as you can see, Hybe's now right behind me, and he is putting pressure on my exhaust. That sounded wrong. Let's go do this right-hander here. Going into it, just understeered a bit wide, too much power on the curve, and I got it round. But if there's one thing that I've learned from simulators, it's how to recover from a spin. So there you go, I can recover from a spin easily. As you can see, outbrake myself again. Hybe did as well, but just no pressure. That's all confident on the brakes that always you will see here. Nordfinger looking down my inside. I give him room. I outbrake myself anyway, and that's when I thought, yeah, let's go to the pits. Let's do it. Let's get on option tyres. You can see it's lap 5. I thought it was lap 4. You know, I was too busy trying to concentrate, and it's one of those races where I really did have to concentrate on my driving. It's not one of those things where I'm like in the zone where it's just so easy for me. Career, not a tracker particularly. Like you can see, I went wide going into the pit lane at the beginning of lap 6. Look at that North Finger 42.1. My fastest having the 45s. You can see how poor I was on this first stint. I had to change the front ring from the contact on the first lap, I believe. So on the option tyres, down to 8th place. So I think Drastic Devil was right behind me. He actually caught up, and I think he had to spin right behind me, so he had to pit as well. But we caught up to our old friend Derry Frosty at the end of lap 16. He's still struggling on the options, and I didn't actually realise it at the time, but looking back, he actually looks like he's trying to pit here because he goes a bit wide, but I just block off the pit lane. Look, he's trying to get in, but I'm there, so he has to go around for another lap. I apologise for that. I didn't realise at the time. I was too busy thinking, oh, I can make a move on the inside, but then I had to give him room because we're turning left, and there was no room for 2 cars if we're going left there. But you can see, got the DRS, got some curves on here. Now we're going down the front, back, straight. One of the straights, the second straight, the third, the middle straight. But you can see, going on his outside, he hit me, and I did a 540. I was a bit disappointed with that. I normally aim for a 720 if I get taken out that. I like doing 720s, but 540, about 6 out of 10 for that spin there. But as you can see, he's gone wide there, and it actually, you see sparks from under his car and see a puff of smoke when he hits the brakes for the next corner. So he says he got a puncture right at that moment when I'm alongside. And looking at the evidence here, I would say I believe him, but you know, you're always going to be sceptical when you see a guy go into you like that, and he admitted the same, like I would be thinking the same. But you know, I had a penalty for that, would you believe? And I don't know what happened now. I think that was another lag hit again, because I didn't actually touch him. He just went wide, it looks like to me, in the race. But you can see by lap 11, on these option tyres suit me lovely, as we were right behind. I'm Fexy. Apologise, I said that wrong. But yeah, right behind the Red Bull going onto that trail, taking it down the inside. But guess what's next? DRS. So I put out the move a bit. And there's the DRS line there in the middle of turns 1 and 2. So I've got DRS. I hate DRS, but if you got a tool in the game to make you go faster, go past people, you have to use it, and that's what I do with DRS. I'm always careful where that DRS line is. As you can see, I take a look on his outside, but he went to the outside, so I had nowhere to go. I couldn't use that DRS advantage, but I'm still right behind him, as you can see. And we're taking it down his inside again, but he's covering the inside at first, but then dive down it, but he brakes on the outside on those prime tyres, but he's gone wide, and then we bang wheels a bit, but I don't mind as long as you don't cost me too much time. But on this, he almost spun there, as you can see, but Drastic Devil was in front of us, did spin there, and you might have seen a split second of him on the right hand side in the dirt there. But getting right behind him, took a nut down the inside, but that's not going to work there. He's got the line, and we were right behind him. Look at that brace. Oh, he's pushing hard, he's trying to keep us behind, but pushed too hard, as you can see on the curve, too much power, and spun round. So we're up to 6th place. Okay recovery, not as good as Legions, who from the back finished 2nd, I believe, so that was a great recovery. But this is the fastest out of the race. I didn't expect it. I was struggling all race long, as you can see. Look at 43.1, poor that. But this was about almost 2 seconds faster than that This lap proved really important in the end because, as I said, penalty at the first corner rescinded. That's 10 seconds off. Caught the penalty with Dave Frosty rescinded. Another 10 seconds. That's 20 seconds off my finishing time. Now those 20 seconds off were very important in the end because you see at the beginning of this lap I'm around 11.5 seconds off Hybe on this fastest lap. I actually took about 2 or 2.5 seconds off that gap, and in the end I had those penalties which were rescinded. He had a 10-second penalty on his time, and so I beat him to 5th place in the final standings by about 2 seconds. So yeah, that was really important in the end. It's only 2 more points, but you know, without this lap I would have stayed in 6th, but it meant I could jump Hybe and finish in 5th place and get a couple more points. In my battle in the championship is with Joel, or Amish Wire as you may know him, or Iron Man. He goes by many names, but yeah, that means I'm like 10 points ahead of him now. Unfortunately, you couldn't make this race, so with 4 races to go, I'm 10 points ahead in my little battle in the championship. But the championship battle is so close at the front as well, as Hybe is involved in that with Legion. So we go across the line, and in the end, as I said, I came 5th. Look at Athlete and Mercedes 3-4, Meridian's 1-2. Well done to Chicken Macaroon and Legion and Drastic Midget. But I hope you enjoyed this highlights. Watching, so till next time, cheerio.